friends. I hope that everybody is doing all right despite this crazy quarantine and coronavirus going around. I really hope everybody is staying safe and healthy. But today I'm going to be making some plant-based sloppy joes. And this is such a delicious recipe. It's really easy, it's quick, and it's pretty cheap to make. So that's what I'm gonna do today. And you might even have these ingredients in your fridge right now. So let's just get right into it. I'll show you what I have going on here. I'm currently pressing 2 blocks of tofu between 2 plates. For the tofu, all I did is I placed another plate right on top of this and put a big can on top, and I did that for about 10 minutes. You can definitely do it for longer. I find that in this recipe, you don't have to drain your tofu for that long. So I have diced up 1 medium onion, about 3 sprigs of celery, and I have about a 1/4 cup of diced green bell pepper and 1 jalapeno in there. That's optional. I have some sugar, some white vinegar, ketchup, tomato paste, and for the seasonings, I have cumin, chili powder, basil, salt, and pepper. And I'm gonna take my tofu and just rip it apart, and you just can kind of squeeze it, and you're literally just squeezing it so that it almost turns into the consistency of ground beef. So I just kind of squeezed this in my fingers, and it turns into this consistency that kind of looks like ground beef. So here's the tofu, and I like to season the tofu before I even put it in the pan, because you guys have to remember tofu is super bland. So don't be afraid of over seasoning your tofu, because it needs it. It's not like regular meat that has fats and flavor. This is flavorless, so we have to add a lot of seasonings to it. I'm adding a tablespoon of cumin, about a tablespoon of chili powder, lots of salt, just salt to taste. I'm putting quite a bit. You can always add more later, but it needs a lot of salt because, again, this is super flavorless. Adding some basil in, and then some black pepper. For the cumin and the chili powder, you're probably gonna have to add more while it's cooking. The whole idea is to test your food, try your food, see how the seasonings are, because you want your tofu to taste really bomb. So I would say the chili powder and the cumin, salt and pepper, keep adding more until it's flavored to what you like. I have about a tablespoon of oil in my pan. Sorry, my pan is freaking ugly. And then I'm adding my onions. And I like to season my onions with some garlic salt. Okay, I'm cooking my onions right now, but I think with plant-based cooking, it's really important to season every layer of your dish if you can. Plant-based cooking, it can be really bland if you're not careful about really seasoning really well, so that's just a tip. Don't be afraid to season your onions and then add the rest of your veggies in, and add maybe some oregano or some basil, some salt and pepper. You really need lots of flavor, again, because it can just be a little flavorless. Tofu tastes like nothing, and that's why most people don't like it. So this needs way more seasoning, so I'm adding more cumin, more chili powder, and more salt. And when you stir it up, and once you stir it, it starts to have a little more color to it. As you can see, it's not just pure white anymore. So that is flavor. And you can add oregano, you can add mustard powder, celery, salt, anything that you like, garlic powder, onion powder, anything you like. Now I'm going to add my celery and my peppers to the pot. I'm also seasoning this, so I'm adding some salt and some pepper, again, to the veggies. Okay, so I'm about to add the tofu to the vegetables. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil into the pan. I don't mind oil. If you don't like adding a lot of oil, then you don't have to, but since the tofu is very dry, it doesn't have fats and natural oils like meat does, you really have to make up for that, in my opinion, by adding a little bit of oil. So I'm gonna add maybe about another 1/2 tablespoon of my grapeseed oil. Some more oil, and adding my tofu mixture in. Boom, I'm gonna stir that all around. So now I'm just sauteing this over medium-high heat. I recommend sauteing it for at least 10 minutes because you want it to like almost brown. There'll be like some brown bits on the bottom if you add oil. I would say saute it for about like 10 to 12 minutes over medium-high heat and just keep stirring it. And at this point, after it's been sauteing, start to try it, start to see what it tastes like. It should taste good at this point already. So if it doesn't, add some garlic powder, some onion powder, salt, pepper, cumin, chili powder, any of the seasonings that you like, you can add to this dish, and just keep adding little by little and try it until it tastes good. Oops. And part of the reason why we saute it for at least 10 minutes is this will like draw the moisture out of it and help it have a better consistency. It's gonna be delicious.
So recently I was cooking.
I love pickles.
It sounded innocent. She just
I love pickles.
Come with me down the rabbit hole.
Okay, I'm trying it. It's really good. It tastes good. But I'm gonna add some more seasonings. I'm gonna add more cumin, chili powder, basil, as well as some onion powder and some garlic powder. So again, just keep trying it until it tastes really good. So I'm about to add a can of tomato paste and a 4th cup of ketchup. Okay, so I have added 1 small can of tomato paste, a 4th cup of ketchup, a splash of vinegar, about a 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. I know I might lose some of you here, but I'm gonna add in a splash of pickle juice. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. That's a little more than a splash, but I promise you it's like really good. I can't explain why, it just is. And to make it more of a sloppy joe consistency, I'm adding a 4th cup of regular tomato sauce. And lastly, I'm gonna add just 2 more tablespoons of ketchup just to make it the consistency that I want. If it's too dry, just keep adding your liquid. So either some tomato pasta sauce, some ketchup. You can even add extra vinegar. I really like vinegar, so I like to add more. So now this is starting to look like sloppy joe, right? It looks like meat, doesn't it? Yum! Again, you can make it sloppier if you want by adding more ketchup or more tomato sauce, or even like some water to thin it out if you want it to be like more of a wet consistency. But this for me is perfect. Got some pickles on the side. I feel like you have to have pickles with sloppy joes. It's a must. Oh my god. Look how delicious. Oh my gosh. So excited. What do you think? Sloppy, sloppy.
Really good.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Yep. That is bomb. So delicious.
Super duper yummy.
Super duper. This is a winner every time, and it's a good way to substitute tofu for meat, you know? Do like a meatless Monday or something, try it out, and you'll feel really good afterwards. Yeah.
Or something like that.
And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching the sloppy joe recipe. Hope you try it. Let me know if you do, and follow me on Instagram. Okay, I hope everyone has a really, really good day. Take care. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope you try the recipe. I hope everyone takes really, really good care and stay safe out there. Bye.